Well, I gave you a whole extra hour. Why?
Oh, go on.
How much time do you need?
Lots.
Lots. Oh my God.
For when you go, okay, doctor, where are we now? I'm like, Then you get all mad if I hesitate 2 seconds.
I don't get mad at you. I get frustrated at me.
Oh, yeah, right.
I get frustrated at Star Trek.
Oh, go on.
All right, I will. Hello, everyone. Hello.
What are you recording all that?
Of course. This is the behind-the-scenes magic that you get to hear when you're listening to episode 99 out of 99. Let's see, yeah, I know, it didn't make much sense. I'm turning this around. All right, so now that sounds a little better. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike McCafferty.
I'm Jim Miller.
Oh, she's so angry. We should have called Jason in. But I didn't because we're doing a Next Generation episode. But the joy of this is Kim hates this episode.
Yeah, I don't know why you pick it. Why you insist on it.
Because of that reason, because of your animosity towards this, your out and out displeasure. I mean, we've done some terrible episodes.
I don't know if any are worse than this one.
This is your worst episode. I think this one.
This one makes me yell out loud. Ah! It's so annoying. For one main reason.
This is one of the worst ones we've actually reviewed because the production values are superb, but it's such a convoluted, terrible, bonkers story with so many disparate pieces that amount to nothing. And that's sort of why I fell in love with it last night watching it.
I think you just like the fact that I hate it so much and you enjoy tormenting me.
Well, your increasing anger towards it as I kept on pitching this. So, hello, everyone. My name is Mike McCafferty. This is a podcast called I Just Want to Talk About Star Trek. We've done a lot of these. We've done 99 of these. At least I have. Kim's maybe done like 70 of them. Jason, maybe 50. Or maybe 40. I don't know. He's not in this one, that's for sure. He hasn't been in a couple of them, actually, recently. Was he in the last one? Or no, did we cut him out of that one?
No, you had Kieran on, I think, the last one.
Oh, that's right. I had Kieran on. Yeah, that's right. It's nothing against Jason. It's nothing against Jason. But there's nothing for Jason either. Ever since he decried Star Trek being boring. Oh, no, we did do the little Phantom podcast, the 10-minute podcast.
Oh, yes.
About Quip. Oh, I have to do a thing about Quip, too. Don't let me forget about that. Maybe I'll just play that horrible podcast at the end just so that we get that covered. We were outside of Mexicali and we did it. And I played the melodica, the melodia.
Is that completely unsalvageable? What happened with that?
It just wasn't very interesting because it was 10 minutes long. And
when has that ever stopped?
This is true. This is very true. If you're just showing up to these podcasts, you're like, what the hell is this? Know that I know more about Star Trek than most of these yahoos at Trek FM, all these jackasses. Know that my knowledge up to Deep Space Nine, up to the original series, is the best. No one knows more about the original series than me. I'm on par with some of the best with the Next Generation. I know a lot about Deep Space Nine. I'm familiar with Voyager. I have some inklings about Enterprise, and I despised Discovery.
You do not. You were starting to come around to some parts of it.
I don't know. You know what the show I love right now? The Expanse. I'm just going to say this is the Star Trek podcast. I love The Expanse, and Kim can't get through it.
I can't. Requires Amazon Prime, which I don't have, so I have to wiggle around that.
Did you watch more of those episodes, like when you at your friend's house? No.
Halfway through 3. That's when I go
so
there.
hard.
I don't have lots of time. I want to watch it. I agree. It's intriguing. It's good. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and I want to see more.
I know. If only we all had more time. Because, Time's arrow, it shoots straight and narrow. And always finds its mark. But I tell you this. Oh, yeah, there you go. So tonight we're going to be talking about Time's Arrow, Part 2. Now, Kim, explain to the audience why we're talking about Part 2.
Because Mike has a very short attention span. I don't
Correct.
know why. He asked me a couple days ago, we should do something special for episode 99. And that's okay. Pretty impression. So I threw out several intriguing suggestions.
Yes.
And finally I said, how about Darmok? Universally beloved episode. Everyone thinks it's very interesting. It was even Jeopardy category names. There was, I think I posted that picture on your Twitter. It said, Shaka, when the walls fell, were actually category names on Jeopardy. But no! Mike decides instead to choose an episode that I hate, a two-parter across seasons 5 and 6, I think.
Yes. Yeah, they ended season 5 and then... yeah.
I don't mind the story so much. It's just I can't stand Mark Twain. He's exhausting.
Madam, why can't you love Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens?
Because he has only one way, and he emphasizes every single word and every sentence. And he's got like these 3-minute monologues and these extended scenes with Whoopi Goldberg. Like, I'd rather see Whoopi Goldberg talk about nothing, just mixing drinks for 3 minutes, rather than this Yahoo rambling on as another long scene with Deanna. I'm gonna hold my kitty for comfort.
You're telling me that there's no money in this time zone. So, yes. Let me take you through my thought process on episode 99. 99? So old. My thought process was, it's not a good thought process. It really wasn't. I was just like, well, what can I pick? So I was like thinking maybe we should pick something that is a great episode, something which is emblematic of Star Trek.
Something people enjoy.
Well, yeah, I suppose enjoy, but then I started thinking about it. I thought this is the penultimate before like the century mark between, and I actually looked. I thought, well, what's the 100th episode of Star Trek we could watch? And that would be like, because there's 79 episodes of the original series and 22 of the animated series. And I was counting that, so that that makes it that's 101, and then episode 100 would be, I don't know, it'd be like one of the weird ones, one of the animated episodes. Like, I don't know if I want to watch that. So I just thought, well, why don't we just pick something like that has some sort of chronological value to it, something that's emblematic of that. And then I thought, let's pick something really terrible that would drag us down, because 100 will be so rejuvenating. I'm going to try and get as many people as we can from previous podcasts to be beautiful and glorious. So let's really drag ourselves down.
Great.
And I wasn't 100% on board, but then Kim's continual pressure, continual pitching of additional episodes against this, and as I was watching it concurrently, made me believe this was the exact right episode at the exact right time.
Why did you start watching that one?
Well, I started looking at the first one, and the first one's not terrible. The setup, because it is a little bit of a mystery. It's an interesting mystery, and then it kind of ends on this. They just kind of like walk away, like it's such a goofball. Not goofball. It's just like they walk into this portal and then they're gone, and like that's the cliffhanger. They just kind of walk into a portal and they're gone, like to be continued. Yep. And then the whole summer we have to wait through to see more Mark Twain. That's your reward for waiting between episodes 5, season 5 and 6.
Yeah, he's scene 1 of part 2. Starts with Mark Twain talking to a reporter.
Yes.
Shut up.
It's so, and then they come back, and then the more I watched it, the more I realized this was the moment when Next Generation flew too close to the sun, and they thought they could basically do anything, basically. Like, let's do a big old two-parter set in the 1900s with crazy, like, bathhouse aliens. who suck neural energy from us and have Mark Twain just rule or ruin the episode. And we'll live or die by this guy's performance who's never done a Mark Twain impression before. This guy, Jerry Hardin, had never done it.
Wasn't he? How did he end up on this episode? Did the producers like see him do a stage show and they liked him or something like that?
No, I just said he'd never done Mark Twain before.
Really?
Yes. He'd never done it before, madam. I don't understand why you'd be so concerned about that.
Then why did they give him such a huge role?
They bet the farm on this guy. They were so in love with his Mark Twain.
All of them really is just like one annoying producer who's like, I love this guy.
like the line producer was like, you should do a one-man show. And so he did. For like the next 15 years, he did a one-man Mark Twain show.
Oh my God. I thought that was Hal Holbrook's thing.
It was. Like he was like afraid that Hal Holbrook was going to get angry at him or something, but I mean, can you imagine like he did like from the literature, he like did an out-of-town tryout show like in West Virginia or something like that. And there was like 2/3 of the audience was, in the house. And then by the end of the week, it was packed. It was sold out with a big line going down the street to listen to him. I tell you, I was born Mark Twain, but I changed my name to Samuel Clemens.
And that every single line is said like that.
Yes. There is no variety. There is no pathos to this. Mr. Data, I must apologize. All right. So as you can see, Kim is wound up. This is great. This is exactly what I want. I want to see
You only wanted to annoy me with
yes,
this selection, nothing else.
I wanted to get you fired up, ready to go on this one, to get us to the next 100 episodes, Kim.
I was going to ask you if you were planning on stopping at 100, like a show going into syndication.
Oh yeah, we could. Yeah, we could do like the Rick and Morty, where we just make 100 episodes and call it a night, huh? Well, then what would?
How long would you like to keep going?
That may be the question. That'll be the question we'll be asking in episode 100, because episode 1 started out when I was at like this kind of moral crisis. This kind of not moral crisis. This mortal crisis, I suppose. My midlife crisis. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and this sort of became part of my genesis. But now, like, it's harder to do of them because I've been busy and I've been trying to get them going. But it's like twice a month now. Now we're doing twice a month, and that's not necessarily fair to people who listen like regularly. Like to be like, when's the next one coming out? That's not as much fun. It feels like podcasts are now moving towards the idea of doing like a season, basically. Like you do like 10. And then you go away for like a year, and then you come back to do another 10.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, like some of them do. Like I'm listening to Malcolm Gladwell's Revisionist History, which is great podcast. But he takes like 6 months off and then does a block of them and just like dumps them all out, so you can listen to them whenever you want.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wonder maybe if we should do that. I mean, do people want to listen like that, or actually take some time and effort, or is it just kind of these things where I just sort of show up and let you do all the heavy lifting for me, Kim, by taking copious notes on the episode.
It's a late start tonight because I'm trying to take all these crazy notes.
I know. What if we never get to the episode? What if we just like talk like
Can
this?
you? Torment me to make me watch it and then not even talk about it.
I'm Mike McCaffrey, and I just want to talk about.
I can't be the only one who finds it like nails on a chalkboard.
I
like there's some good stuff in this. Like I like a lot of the Guinan scenes. It's kind of fun to see her 500 years younger.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I can see she's trying to act like not like a young girl, but it's kind of funny when Data approaches her and she doesn't know him yet. He kind of pulls her away from this reception where she's the guest of honor, where Mark Twain is rambling on and on. And he
Yes.
pulls her aside, and he's like, "Oh," basically says, "Oh, I know that you're an alien, and I'm from the 24th century." And she doesn't bat an eye. She says, "Oh, did my father send you?" Like, what a strange thing to hear Guinan say.
Yeah.
Like she's a runaway teenager or something.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's, I guess, a lot of like, from the clues that she laid down in previous episodes, like it all fits in. Like there's one episode where she says she was saved by an older man a long time ago, and so so that fits in. There's one of the things.
Are we supposed to assume that that's Picard then?
I guess, I don't know. I mean,
Interesting.
I mean, Picard, Patrick Stewart, and Whoopi Goldberg together are great. They're always great, and the scenes in the wonky cave underneath Presidio, wherever that is. I mean, I mean they're nice. And then the best part about this episode is the very end. The very, very end when Picard walks in to 10 forward and just stares at Guinan, and she just stares back at him, and no words are necessary. Like, to me, that is almost worth the price of the ridiculous Data on a horse, like on a carriage, riding around. You know, them doing Shakespeare for Mrs. McIrish, you know, whoever she is.
Mr. Pickard.
Mr. Pickard. Well, I mean, Jean-Luc Pickard. Mr. Pickard. There's so much. And the weird snake staff that's like a puppet snake that goes like late 90s or early 90s CGI morphing. There's just so many things which are so goofy in this. But let's dive into it, shall we? Shall we, Kim?
Fine.
Yes.
Thank God for closed captioning. I can hit mute and not listen to that annoying noise.
You can just, no, but you've got to hear it. You've got to hear all this stuff. All right, so after the part one, we get right into part two. I don't even care about part one. Kim, I don't care about part one. They're going to find some goofy aliens in the 19th century. Because why? I don't know. Why? Oh, they're going in the past. We have to follow them in the past to make. Well, why don't you just stop them right here? First of all, that's the first problem, right? They can't stop them because they're interphasic or something. Doesn't matter.
I knew you didn't watch part one.
I watched part one a long time ago. And all I need to know is that they're in the 1900s. That's all I need to know. That's all I want to see.
They are called back to Sector 001. Why doesn't he just say back home to Earth?
Yeah.
I guess they're not all from Earth. Because they found all these artifacts under San Francisco as they're installing some machinery to prevent earthquakes, basically. And they find Data's head, 500 years old, and that's what starts this whole thing.
Right. Not a bad way to start. All the setup is pretty good. You find Data's head. And then they go on this little adventure, which takes them this other, like the Denebian system, wherever it is, the Diluvian system. What is it? The something system. Kim, what is it? Tell me.
Well, first we have some interesting, kind of cool scenes with Data thinking about his own mortality and the fact that he can die, that he will die, and everyone's so upset about it.
But we don't
That
call
was
back
kind
to that
of
in the second
cool.
episode.
But that was a good part of part one.
Yeah.
So you think, oh, this might not be too bad. Mark Twain doesn't show up till well into part one.
Yes.
Okay, shape-shifting, time-traveling aliens. That's what I like about Star Trek, so I'm on board with that.
Yep.
But that's when they start thinking that they have to get in touch with these aliens because apparently they must be involved with Data's head ending up 500 years ago. Maybe they were around 500 years ago. And they figure that they're ingesting these energy fragments that are basically dead human beings somehow. So that's when they decide, let's go to this planet, Davidia 2.
Davidia, that's what it is.
And that's where they find that cavern with people having a steam bath.
Our steam bath aliens, they're just sitting there. Like, there's nothing scary about aliens that are sitting. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, they're sitting. They're sitting and they're eating like people's brains through their forehead. I mean, like the least threatening aliens. They just sit there. Then they get up and they walk through a little portal. And I'm going to go eat some more people from the 19th century. Okay.
Data discovers that they're just slightly phase shifted away from this alien world. So using some aspect of his positronic brain, they're able to, or he by himself is first able to shift into their world and see them. And then something goes haywire and he gets transported back 500 years, 1893 or something. San Francisco, lying on the street.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's
you just want Mark Twain because you know it annoys me.
I would imagine that we could be aliens from a different world and about specks of dust in the sky.
Could have been talking about Darmok and Jalad Tanagra. What did you like about this episode, other than how it torments me?
What do I like about this episode?
Yeah,
I think it's, like I said, I like the very ending. I like the very end. It's a nice little moment. And then beyond that, I think there's so much goofball kind of things. Jack London's in there. They're all dressed up. Like we cut into them in the beginning. We leave them at the end of season 5 as they're walking to this portal, and then we pick up with them having established this life where somehow
yes, they all have jobs.
They all have jobs, which is so strange. It's like he's like Riker's a full-blown cop, or he's like acting as a cop. I mean,
Beverly is a nurse.
Beverly's
employed at an infirmary.
I know. Not treating people just
actually worked an overnight shift because she's like, oh, that's where so-and-so died last night. I'm like, what?
I know.
This is your second day job.
Like how long were they there for? I get the feeling they're there for a while, right? Because like they've been there for a couple weeks at least.
Yeah, I think so. And Picard is like I don't know, longshoreman or what he is.
Well, he's an earthquake preventer or something. An earthquake like retrofitter or something.
Oh wait, he was going around lighting the gas lamps, wasn't he?
Oh, that's he's like he's the gas lamp guy. He's kind of like I'm making sure that when the earthquakes happen, these lamps will not fall.
Somehow they've managed to rent an apartment.
I know.
Like 6 people, or what is it?
No, it'll just be you. No. There'll be 6 of us, my traveling troupe of actors.
This black fellow who's blind, a cop, and a nurse, and an Indian woman. You'll all move in together. Is that all right?
Well, Mr. Pickard, I think that sounds fine. What show will we be doing?
As long as you pay your rent every week.
It's such a strange. It's I read that they were like they said. Well, we wanted to go to the 30s or the 60s, the 90s. I don't know why it's like multiples of 3 when I was reading it. Like when they wanted to time travel. And the weird thing about it was like because I read it's like we wanted to go to the 30s, the 60s, or 90s. I'm like, wait a minute. Those Star Treks before you have been to those times.
I mean, why don't they go there?
Yeah, I mean, like the original episodes were in the 60s, and they traveled back to the 60s, and they also traveled back to the 1930s. So like, why would you do that? And then, I mean, Voyager actually went to the 90s in one of their episodes, 2-parter, which isn't bad. So then they just ditched all that and went to the 1900s because these aliens decided to go to the 1900s Earth to, I don't.
That's right, because they can take human lives, and people just think it's because of cholera.
Can we talk about this plan?
There are a lot easier places you can go. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you are interphasic aliens who can travel through different times. Why don't you go like the caveman time? I mean, why do you have to be like skulking around in 1835 or 1895, like San Francisco with a snake cane, like to hospitals with people with cholera to drink their brain energy? Who the hell are these aliens, man? What is it,
We've got to work Mark Twain in somehow for some reason.
It's so much effort to get them into the 1900s. That's it's that's the thing. Like they seem so set on doing that they concocted this outlandish, weird bathhouse aliens going back and drinking people's brains without an appropriate substitute. Just like steal a bunch of them, bring them to your home planet, and breed them, and then like, okay, we're gonna drink your brain energy. I'm so sorry about this. I mean, I get it, you're sentient, but we are so hungry. Okay. Okay, I've got this snake cane here. Okay, it's gonna turn into kind of a puppet snake, and it's gonna drink your brain. Okay. Again, very, very sorry, but, you know.
Oh, God.
All right. See, Kim, she's even revolting against giving me, like, what happens in this episode. So look, I will take control of this. So we do have that opening with Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, who changes his name, like, back and forth with this reporter, this unnamed reporter, which I thought was kind of a mistake, right? It should have been somebody. Because they have Jack London in it, right? They have like the bellhop, like, you know, let me tell you about my story. I lived in Alaska, you know, and I had the call of the wild in me. And it was such a weird, obvious cameo. And then you have this reporter who should have been someone. It's like, oh, my name's David Pulitzer. You know, oh, all right, Mr. Pulitzer. You'll do nothing of importance. You know, he's like a random reporter. But Mark Twain now is on the hunt for Guinan and Data, convinced that they are aliens.
Black woman and albino in San Francisco. I know. Has anyone seen them? Nope.
It's almost impossible. Like how? Like what do people make? I mean, first of all, you're right. I mean, like an African American woman. You know. I mean, well, I don't know. I don't know what the demographics are in. This could be really difficult. I know. So let's go to Data instead.
A lower proportion than they are today, I would assume.
Yes. I mean. But like Data is like a crazy person. He is like
he's got yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes, you know, like pale white skin, and he says he's from France, which I think is kind of a joke towards Coneheads. That's my feeling about that.
Yes. How come when he speaks French he uses Brent Spiner voice number 2?
We've been
it was difficult. I'm like, why do you talk in this goofy voice?
Well, what about when he did Data? What about when he decided to act in Midsummer Night's Dream when he's like, oh, fair to Tanya,
voice number 2, 2 of 2.
Brent Spiner has 2 voices. That's what we're saying here right now. He has normal human being, and then he has higher pitched, slightly southern. Hey, what are you doing here? Kind of character. And that's all he has. If you don't believe me, watch Masks. It's all the same. Except for so cold.
Come join me by the fire.
By the fire. We should have done that one again.
3.
We should have just done Mask a second time, you know? Revisited that.
Kill you!
You see, Kusaka. Anything with Data in a bad voice. Now tell me, Kim, would you rather like have an evening of Brent Spiner's voices or of Mark Twain's voices?
Oh, Brent Spiner, definitely. That's sort of tolerable.
But like he never ever switches back into normal like Brent Spiner. I'm a human being. Not playing some sort of character actor from like summer stock.
We were just talking about this the other day because we were discussing how torturous it would be to sit between Shohreh Aghdashloo from The Expanse and Harvey Fierstein if you're in the middle seat of an airplane.
Oh, God, yeah. With Brent Spiner in the back going, "You gonna eat those peas?"
And in front of you is the Super Dave Osborne guy, Bob Einstein. I've been watching a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and his voice is just like, it's tortuous.
Oh, yeah. He's the brother of Albert Brooks.
Really?
Yeah. Super Dave Osborne is the brother of Albert Brooks.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
I know. I'm always reminded that, like, oh my God, so
very,
weird.
Very funny in the show, but that voice.
Yeah. He's an interesting person. Nonetheless, so after we have that little kind of. See, Mark Twain is supposedly like our main force. Like these aliens aren't even that interesting. It's Mark Twain who is pursuing them, and like that's like Like there's actually a commercial break where Mark Twain like comes out of a closet or something, and that's supposed to be like really like bump, you know, like that. That is getting you to the act break. That is compelling people to go through commercials to come back. What is Mark Twain going to do to Guinan and Data? Well, nothing. I mean,
he'll talk to them in an annoying, repetitious voice.
Oh,
she gets it right there. She's like, he's driving me crazy. He's following me everywhere.
Yes.
Driving us all crazy.
Yeah, it's they pick things up. I mean, I think they're trying to emulate The City on the Edge of Forever, which did such a great job of portraying multiple weeks with Spock and Kirk. I mean, it's just like they do little scenes here and there where they're you know, washing dishes or they're shoveling coal or whatever the hell they're doing, but they just infer that it's been weeks, or like when Spock says, "I've been working on this device for weeks." And you know, actually, they mimic that with Data building his own little weird device, to find snake energy or whatever it is. All right, let's just cherry pick some stuff here, because they have that scene in his room where Mark Twain's going through all his stuff, and then Guinan and Data show up, and there's these threats of wanting from the scene. It's just like, that's it, right? As I recall, I
have no doubt it will be the people of this century who will suffer for it. So
it
decides that he's going to stop them.
Yes, him and him alone will stop them. And then we kind of shoot back over to the TNG crew, right? Or is this the first time actually we've seen them? I believe.
Oh, that's where the Riker punches the guy and breaks his nose, or something. That classic.
Oh, is that
Riker
okay? So
palm to the nose maneuver.
We had the rent paying scene, and then we get to this scene here where they're going into the infirmary, where Beverly's not really healing anyone. She's just like pouring them like weird viscous fluids to having them drink. Like, oh, you're going to die.
She's waiting for them to show up again, so
right?
That she can alert the others. So they do to come take another cholera victim. She has her little secret communicator pin that she pushes.
That she puts on her chest to push, as opposed to just like, you know, holding it in her hand. Yeah.
I use my phone. That. I hold it right here. They come immediately and have a scuffle, and they manage to take away the snake cane from one of the aliens, who then phase out of the room.
So these guys, like, one of my big complaints about this is that these aliens are so, again, like I was saying, Mark Twain becomes the main villain, really, because these aliens are so in the background. They're basically wordless. You know, they just kind of show up and snake people, and then like, you know, put you know, the brain energy in their bags and leave. And then even now, right here, where there could have been a great kind of, you know, interchange between them. Nothing. They just kind of like, oh, and then they you know, they get shot and then they disappear. So what are we supposed to make of these guys? You know, we get one little dump from like the dying nurse woman at the end, which is like, you know, we can't eat, you know, we can only eat your brain energy. There's nothing else we can eat. It's like, oh God, you guys are terrible. You should die. You know, this is all you can eat.
And she warns Picard.
Yeah,
we're going to go back and destroy you all. And he's like, you better not, or it'll be bad for you. I'm like, why are you telling him that?
Yeah, if you use your phasers, it'll, you know, cause irreparable damage, and it'll make it even better for us. I'm dying now. You know, it's like, well, this is why your species is dying out. Because first of all, you only eat 19th century brain energy, and secondly, you tell everyone your plans. Or what can, you know, I mean, if you shoot me with that gun, I'll die. Oh, well, I will shoot you with that gun.
But they steal that thing. And after they steal the cane, and Data rescues them with his 2 horses in the carriage.
Yes. Now I do want to say that
Stan didn't drive away.
Oh, I did. I noticed that guy. Yeah, the Stan. I try to get a screen image of that. Sort of like the Fistful of Datas, where there's just all these weirdos walking around looking like Data. In standard definition, they look fine, but in high definition, I'm sorry, that's not Data driving that carriage. I'm sorry. I do want to say that Riker punching out that cop with the open-fisted like palm punch is pretty awesome. I like that. I don't know why. It's like, I have the greatest
respect for law enforcement.
Yeah, for law enforcement. I give like a little uppercut, to the jaw, and the guy falls down. And it's just so ridiculous to have Data riding around the corner in this carriage. That's when I knew we had to do this episode, because like, what is going on here?
That sold you.
That's what sold me, because first of all, there was very little chase, right? They're like, let's go. They run out of the infirmary, and then immediately they're on the street, tweet, tweet, and then we've got to get out of here, and then Data rolls up. They have a little bit of conversation. Perfect timing. There's no chase. There should have been a chase, right? They've got all of this backlot here to run around in, and instead they're just like, he just drives around. Great. So then they get on, and then off they go with
very flat San Francisco. They must have only been on Market Street.
Right.
No hills in San Francisco.
It's right by the pier. That's all it is. It's just That's true. I didn't notice that. It was all very flat. They should have had Data taking them like up one of the hills, and like the whole thing just derails and they go tumbling down with these poor horses, because they've never done this.
Classic car chase where they just leap off every hill.
Right.
Airborne. Yeah. Oh, I found the Shakespeare scene. How now, spirit, whither wander you? Shut up.
Oh gosh. Because that's the following scene, isn't it? Isn't that what happens?
Yeah.
Like they
when they escape with the cane, that's where they go.
Now that could have been fun. That could have been like, and it is kind of fun. Let's admit it's fun to see our characters be pushed out of their comfort zone. But this should have been a 3-parter. We should have just had them live in San Francisco. Yes.
3-parter.
Well, because. Like, why don't we just see them like living in San Francisco for like a month or something? Let's just have them do that.
You'd be like, "This is a show about space. What are they doing?"
But I don't know anything about these aliens. Like, who are these guys? So like why? Let's chase them through time then. If not a month in San Francisco, let's go back, to the Roman times, or I don't know. I mean, let's find a different time period to go to that's more exciting than this.
What time period was All Our Yesterdays in? Where I have eaten animal flesh. Is it like caveman times?
It was like caveman time, yeah, but it was on a different planet, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so it didn't. I mean, like they went back to the weird like Puritan times, which of course mirrored Earth oddly, which is like what?
That was one of the episodes I wanted Mike to talk about, and he shot it down.
This is true. I shot time 0 at it. Yes, we did talk about doing.
We could be talking about I have eaten animal flesh, and I have enjoyed it.
Here's my pushback on that: is that we've done a lot of TOS episodes. Part of it is being inclusive of Jason, which I acknowledge that, and I thought about it, but then I thought, we've done 1 Enterprise episode, maybe 2 or 3 Deep Space Nine. Like 1 or 2 Voyager, maybe 10 TNGs, and maybe like 20 or 25 TOSs.
Have we talked about good TNG episodes or just like cheesy ones like Casino Royale?
Casino Royale.
We talked about like Best of Both Worlds.
No, I've been saving them. I know. No, that's the problem. Is I've been saving. I thought like when I first started out, I was like, I don't want to like shoot the wad early and like get through all the good ones and have nothing to talk about. So I'll talk about all the bad ones first.
So many.
I'm trying to think of is there been anything good that we've talked about in TNG? I'm trying to think. I mean, we did sort of the Lonely God one with Q.
Talked about Q, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Q, but yeah, honestly, we talked about Conspiracy.
Bits and pieces, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about. Did we do Sub Rosa? I can't remember if we did Sub Rosa yet or not.
We keep threatening to.
We keep threatening to do Sub Rosa. That's my other threat to you.
Keep referring to it.
So we've done some bad ones. We haven't done a lot of good ones. We've done Masks, because they're fun. Like, what are we going to say about a good one? Oh, that was really good. So, like the 2 options are to say it's really good. or to make it like, well, I mean, I know people want to listen to people want to hear us be effusive about good ones, but if it's really good and it's already demonstrably good, it's like, wow, that was really good. I really like that. This is like a 25 to 52-year-old show that we're critiquing. Everyone knows it's good or bad, and if it's good, our options are to verify that it's good, or to bring it down as only we can. And sully the good memories of it for our listening audience, like Graham Champ and Zach Coden and Jim Danner, Jim.
Fine.
All right. That's
this is how he wore me down to talk about this.
All right. So, what else have we got on this? So. Because that was kind of the high watermark of excitement in this episode. Really, is that kind of like non-fight and non-chase. They decide to go to the Presidio, underneath the Presidio, right? Isn't that where like the cave is?
Yeah, because somehow 19th century, 19th century,
19th.
Guinan has secured access to this mine shaft on an army base. Doesn't really specify how, but she brings everybody there, and that's when the aliens return.
Like what a horribly lost opportunity. It's like that mine shaft is on a guarded military base. There's no way we can get into it. Oh, Guinan can get into it. Great. Okay. Like, why don't we see them sneaking into this military base? Let's have shenanigans. Let's have them try. It should be like a heist movie. You've got to get in there. And instead it's like, oh, we're in the cave, with a blind African American man, like an albino, I mean, like, who are these people we're taking into the military base? With Madame Guinan, I mean, it's
a nurse and an Indian lady.
And
an old longshoreman.
An old British longshoreman, all going to an American military base. So please make nothing of this. We're going to be underneath the base, if that's okay.
With large pieces of machinery.
Large pieces of machinery that glow. And then shortly Mark Twain will come in there somehow. How did Mark Twain get in there?
Armed.
Armed. Now, Colonel, if you will please, I must take my Colt 45 into the mine shaft.
Emphasize every word. I suspect that even time travelers are vulnerable to the Colt 45. Like, how do you stress every word? It's like a variation of Michael Dorn, who just stresses the wrong words in every sentence. The least logical words is the one.
This is true. Sir, the photon torpedoes are ready.
The photon.
Wait, what did you say, Wolf?
Did you say the photon torpedoes already?
To use such a device would be illogical.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
He takes like every third word and just emphasizes that, The family Duras has many opportunities to use such a device. I would not be opposed to such a venture. I will have French fries with chicken nuggets.
Oh God!
All right, so they go in this this obviously foam cave here.
The old Rocketeer set repurposed with columns. I kind of like.
Yes, yeah. You just put a few wood columns and all of a sudden it's a mine shaft with very smooth surfaces all over the place. Because when you mine a shaft, there's very smooth surfaces when you're done. But they go in there and then they encounter these
aliens reappear.
These goofball aliens again, and what? How do they get? There's like a fight again for the snake cane. Mm-hmm. Like one of the guys grabs the snake cane and causes a short.
Yeah, Data tackles him and grabs it, and then it starts shooting out all these electrical charges, which blows his head off. And the portal opens.
so many convenient moments there where it's like, what just happened here? My God. I mean,
The woman disappears. There's a flash. Everyone's thrown to the floor. Guinan is injured. Time portal opens, and most of them jump through, but Picard stays behind to make sure that Guinan is okay.
yeah, let's so in this wrestling match, Data's head's blown off. A time portal is open. Guinan is injured. The nurse woman is injured. I mean, that's a lot of different things going on with one little fight.
And then Mark Twain leaps through the portal.
Now, if
An
you
old
haven't
man would.
if you haven't watched this episode, you got to go back and watch this because Mark Twain, aka Samuel Clemens, sees the portal slowly closing and takes this flying leap. Kim, have you ever taken a flying leap in your life? Have you ever leapt for anything?
Maybe into a ball pit or into a pool.
Yes, like when you're a child. Yeah, like into a pool. So
Yeah.
here's this like 78-year-old man, and somehow he gets like LeBron James style air and just like darts into that portal. He is like 5 feet off the ground by the time he hits that thing. And then he's gone too.
Yep. Portal closes, so most of our away team is back in present day San Francisco in that cavern, same cavern. Where they're able to beam up to the ship.
Now, one thing is that Guinan is injured, and so of course he tells Beverly Crusher to follow the alien because Guinan is injured and needs medical assistance now. And so the best thing to do is to send your medical officer after the dangerous alien, right? Send everybody. It's this weird kind of it's like a reverse clown car thing where they all walk in. And if you watch Beverly Crusher,
Reverse clown car.
it is. They all like one at a time. And Beverly Crusher with her little, petticoat, like does a little leap, like she like hops over something and then hops into the thing as it's closing. It's really funny. It's like what is? It's so like and then Samuel Clemens like tags it all off by leaping into this thing with his legs like literally falling upwards as he does, and then Jean-Luc Picard is alone with dying Guinan.
Yes.
That was not good captaining right there. It was not good delegation of tasks. But it gets them all back in present day.
Yes. And in the present day cavern, Clemens is like, where are we and when? Like, how does he know they time traveled? How does he know that?
Yeah.
Timeback explains, this is the 24th century. Carving us up like a roast. Oh, I'm sorry. They're not back in San Francisco. They're on Davidia 2.
They're back on there. They're back there, yeah. So they're back in
You're not supposed to be here. Well, it seems to me I have as much right to be in your time as you had to be in mine. Shut up. Blow his head off. Here, hold this snake cane, would you?
Take his neural energy.
Point your bag at him, your purse.
We will trade you. You guys leave, and you can take Samuel Clemens' brain, all right? We are just done with this guy. I will write the rest of his works. I don't know what he did after that, but I will write it. It's fine.
But when they return, there's Data's headless body lying on the floor, clutching the cane. And Mr. Worf, make that 6 to transport.
and like, so I guess who was I guess it was O'Brien or whoever was beaming up. It's just like, all right, let me see here. I've got 5, and then this headless body here.
Seems to have slightly less mass than usual.
Yeah. Okay, beaming on up. Here we go.
But when once Clemens gets to the Enterprise, he does not seem that overwhelmed with being on a
starship.
Well, security, I want an escort for this man. What for? Are you afraid I'm going to go around stealing things? A werewolf!
No, that was actually pretty good. That was a werewolf. And then, like, inexplicably, like, Deanna Troi is smitten with him, all of it, like, instantly. She's like, I'll take him to his quarters. Like, he's got quarters now? What are we doing? What, I mean...
Yes.
Knock him out. Put him in stasis. I mean,
Exactly. Whatever happened to polluting the timeline?
I know. I mean, he is an author. He is a writer he's already written about time travel. He wrote a Connecticut Yankee and Can't Argue the Story. Why would he not write about this? You know?
They should have special little closet that's just built into the transporter room for just this sort of problem.
Yeah.
Don't let him out into the ship.
He'll
sit in this echo chamber. They call this.
I mean, in the original
isolation
series,
tank.
Yeah, like
so
just
you don't get polluted.
Just keep him in stasis, or keep him in the caves below, or do something. But don't just take him on a tour of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
In the original
this
series,
is a spaceship.
Yeah,
you ever run into Halley's Comet?
Yeah,
I'm totally fine with being on a spaceship now.
I mean, he's more smitten with Deanna, than being on a starship. He's like, the comforts of a beautiful woman. You know, it's just like, oh my god.
First, she went back to her quarters to change, apparently, into her lavender outfit.
Yeah. Wait out here for a minute. I'll be right back. All right. Strange illumination coming from the walls and ceilings.
But back in the San Francisco cavern,
yes,
Picard and Guinan, we kind of see their relationship starting a bit.
Yeah, he tells her that
you're still here. You stayed for me.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why he didn't just keep Beverly around to make sure she was fine. Instead of having everybody chase after this guy, which they don't find. He just goes someplace else, right? I mean, they show up and he's gone. And it's just well, good job, guys. Way to send 11 people after him and no one finds him. But anyway, so he stays with Guinan and they develop the relationship. He talks to
beyond friendship.
What's that?
No, he just says that our friend. She says we become friends, and he says it goes far beyond friendship.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Exactly is their relationship.
You get the feeling that there should have been some sort of romantic relationship between the two of them, and I would have been okay with that because she is a traveler, she is mysterious, and she'd be the perfect companion for Picard. You know, she's seen the universe, and he's an explorer. You know, so I mean, they would be great. But they never pulled that trigger. So
yeah. I like that she sees Data's head lying on the floor. She's just how about that? You wouldn't see the head there and go, ah!
Again, this is my push for making this 3 episodes long because so much of this is just glossed over. You know, just oh, there's a head there, there's an alien there, there's a snake monster Kane there. You know,
as long as it doesn't mean more Mark Twain, I would be fine with that.
No, I mean,
if it's
in fact,
more sci-fi stuff, and maybe.
I think it would be less. I think if they would focus on these aliens running around through San Francisco with their terrible idea of, taking, and to be honest, let's think about this. So what they do is they show up at hospitals where people are dying of cholera or tuberculosis or something like that, right? So these people are dying anyways, and before they die, they take their brain energy. Mm-hmm. What's the issue here? What are we missing? Why is that such a bad thing?
Why not?
I mean, what? Oh no, they're killing people.
I think that's what was killing them. That's what Beverly says. They didn't die of cholera; they died of complete draining of their neural energy or something.
Right. So, I guess my question is then why not go to the people who are dying, and just do that? Why don't you go to the Black Plague era and just take all the souls there? I mean.
Yeah.
Why, if the brain energy is pretty much the same, an hour before they die, just go to one of these wards, oh, he's going to die of cholera, beep, we got him, oh, he's going to die of bubonic plague, beep, got him, I mean, again, these are terrible aliens. These aliens do not think anything through. These are worse than the Pac-Leds, these guys are just...
Yeah, there's another episode we could talk about. Wait, did we talk about
I think we tried
lots of bits and pieces we've talked about.
Yeah, I see that, I hate the Pac-Led one. Ugh, I hate it. Can't do
Pac-Led. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do I can't do this one, and you forced me into it.
Yes, yes, that's right. All right, but we're winding
Back
up
on the
here.
Enterprise.
Well,
Yes,
no, don't we
Troy
have that
and-
conversation with the woman yet, or no?
Troy.
Or do we cut back?
No, we have that scene that I had to mute because he keeps going on and on. That's the problem here. All this technology only serves to take away life's simple pleasures. blah, blah, blah. On and on and on, where she explains to him how great the future is and there's no more poverty because he wants a cigar.
Yeah, it's such a weird. I mean, it's fine, but it's the conversation that needed to happen to turn him around to the fact that on the 24th century it is a good place to be.
More of that Star Trek philosophy of no more poverty in the future. And everything's great.
Yeah. But yeah,
Maybe it's worth giving up cigars for after all.
Okay, great. Go do it.
Meanwhile, Geordi is trying to put Data's 500-year-old head back on his body.
We've all caught that, right? That he, from that point on, has a 500-year-old head. It's like, I mean, yeah, okay.
Wouldn't it look a little scuffed up?
Nope, just got some iron filings in it from Picard. Not writing a message or anything, just
I
instead.
didn't quite understand how that worked. Geordi inspecting, or while trying to repair Data's head, finds an iron filing,
Yes.
which he removes, and which then enables Data's head to reconnect and communicate a message from Picard. Binary.
A binary message that he somehow input into his positronic brain.
Which tells them don't destroy the cavern on Davidia 2 because your weapons will only amplify the time distortion. That's what the alien woman says.
Yeah, basically makes it worse. So Picard, instead of like writing a very detailed message on a piece of paper and sticking it in his head, which he could, or taking like weeks or months to put that message in.
That's true.
Writes this.
He's
like
got 500 years to do it.
Yeah, he does. He has all the time in the world. But like another failing of this episode is that they treat the two times as though they are moving in a similar pattern. It's like Picard has to get this message through right now. Otherwise, Geordi won't get it in enough time. So like there's like this race to get it. I mean, he could have done the Doc Brown thing of giving a telegram to them, just like, okay, send this message in 500 years, or tell Guinan, hey Guinan, you know what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But instead, Guinan's terrible. She's like,
Yeah.
I can't tell you what to do. You can't tell us what to do?
Can't tell Riker what he should do because that might ruin it. Like, isn't it already set?
And then, I mean, even like Riker's like, well, wait a minute, what? Maybe you not telling me what to do is the wrong thing. And she's like, and she just doesn't say anything. It's like,
yeah,
that's kind of a bitchy move. I got to be honest. I mean, you started all of this,
helping,
and now you're just sitting there quietly going, just say it. I mean, the time it has already happened. Whatever's happening has already happened. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't understand why she's so unhelpful in that way.
After, in the first episode, being very insistent about you have to go back. Mm-hmm. Like she tells Picard, like, absolutely you have to go back or else none of this will work. Which, anyway, it's a very...
Yeah, these episodes seemed like an inordinately high amount of technobabble to make it all work with this phasing concept.
Yeah. There are so many
trialic waves and all this stuff. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like I'll have to reconfigure the photons to do that, and okay, it'll take an hour to reconfigure the photons. It'll take you an hour to do that. Like if we were in a battle, Geordi,
with phase discriminators to get the variance we need. What?
Yeah.
All right.
And then Riker says we have to warm up the photons. What is the line? I texted it to you. It's you have to. Let me see. I had this here.
Oh, you were like, that's not how they work.
Power up the photons, Mr. Worf. Yeah, they're not like hand crank. They're bombs. You're shooting bombs. They don't have to like, you have to power them up like, like a little. Okay, here we go. I mean, we saw them in Star Trek 2. They're these pods that you shoot out. You don't have to warm them up. It's like, otherwise, what good are they? It's like, oh my God, the Klingons are here. Warm up the photon torpedoes. We will be ready to fight you in 1 hour's time.
Thaw them. Take them out of the freezer.
Yeah. We're finding the Klingons tomorrow. I'm going to take the photons out of the freezer, let them thaw.
Sprint some water on them.
Or do you just want to use phasers? Do you just want to use phasers? We got the phasers right now, but if you want photons, I have to take them out now. Okay, it's your choice. It's your choice. It builds this weird tension. So like we have that hour's time, so that stuff can happen. And then they fire the photon torpedoes, and then Picard shows up, and they beam him out just in the right amount of time. Again, like all.
Wait, why did Twain have to go back? They needed someone to go back, but it was a one-way trip or something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's only. So we can only send one person back with the snake cane, and it's a one-way trip. Hey guys, I know for a fact that many ships have traveled back in the past. Many, like the Enterprise has traveled back in the past on at least 3 or 4 different occasions. All right? I mean, the 1701, and then the A did it. I mean, like they've all done it. They've all gone back in the past. We can do that. We can go back. We can just go back and get Captain Picard right now. It's like, bridge to Picard. Prepare to be beamed up. We'll beam up Guinan too. All right? So it was this kind of weird, kind of a weird logic thing there.
It's a convenient way to get Twain off the ship because he's so annoying.
Yes. They had to have a weird exchange where like it's only a one-way trip, and one other person can go through the time rift, but that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have the perfect solution for you. Shut up. Just stop talking.
Tranquilize him. Send him through the rift with the note attached.
His limp body materializes.
And then they have like, because again, like they're trying to build this weird amount of tension. Like he shows up on Market Street. It's like, I came all the way from Market Street. Like, who cares, man? Why does that? Like they're trying to get like, oh my God, the tension, but we never see any of that stuff. He shows up and then,
I have a message from Mr. LaForge. Set your phaser on 0.047, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Makes a promise to get Guinan medical attention. As you see later, this Guinan stand-in is lying on her side as she's taken out. Like, clearly, Whoopi Goldberg's like, I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to
stick around for that.
Yeah. I guess this episode or these series of episodes, they actually had her. Maybe it was just this episode, because usually only got her for a day because her schedule was so busy. But like for this one, like, oh, we've got her for like several days. Like, we're going to use her. Except on the stretcher.
To see more of her than Mark Twain.
Yes, I don't understand. Like, see how much more interesting would that have been if they caught up with Guinan in 19th century America, like running away from her family, and she is young and impetuous. It's 500 years earlier, and she's like, "I'm not going back. You stay away from me." I hate it. What if she was that person?
That would have been much better.
That's
how
what we
she
want to
got
see.
there. What she's been doing.
Yeah, I mean, and because Picard shows up and sort of alters her trajectory, like maybe she's like, I don't need people, I don't like people, whatever, or maybe she's, whatever she is, he changes her for the better. That's what we need. Instead, we have like this weird encounter in the cave where he's like, oh, we're gonna be good friends very soon, but right now I sat next to you and didn't offer any sort of aid to you except to sit next to you. Sent my doctor away, and then have Mark Twain carry you away on a stretcher, I mean, we're going to be good friends, I promise you, after this. Not before, but after this.
I'll see you in 500 years.
Yeah.
And I'll see you in a few minutes. I kind of like that.
That's a good line. That's a good, there's some key lines of that. So they blow up the terrible aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is okay. I mean...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, again, these aliens, this like that nurse woman. So it's so frustrating. It's like, we're going to eat all your energy. Well, can't we find another form of energy? No, there's no other energy. There's no other energy. You can travel through time, and you can't find another solution. That's it. Okay, maybe you deserve to die. I mean, that's just you're just stupid.
We'll wipe
stupid
out
alien.
your species.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't they pretty much wipe out their whole species?
I think they did. I think they caused a little bit of genocide on those guys.
That was the topic of a whole other episode. Remember that old couple? He kind of exiled himself there because he accidentally wiped out a whole species.
That one's called Survivors.
Yes.
I watched it with Kieran the other day. With the music box playing in Deanna Troy's head. Oh my God, it's so creepy. Did we talk about this? Maybe I don't know if we talked about this, but it's so terrifying. No, maybe it was just with Kieran. Kieran of the podcast fame. Yeah, it's such a creepy thing where like he just tortures her with this music box sound in her head the entire episode. She can't get it out of her
Keep her
head.
from figuring out his secret.
Yeah, it's like it's horrible. I mean, she goes onto the ship and she still has that sound in her head. Like, oh man, you're terrible. You're a bad alien.
But
all right,
we end
so-
with Mark Twain leaving his pocket watch there, so he can find it again in 500 years. And those paramedics just leave the severed head and carry Guinan out.
And I guess seal up the cave, and no one's the wiser for that. I mean, does anyone ever go back in that cave? Did anyone ever see a human mechanical head just resting in the middle of the cave? No, I guess they're just, all right, seal it up. Or maybe Mark Twain, with all his military power, General, please seal up this mine shaft here that I was down with these strange characters.
This acting troupe joined
This
me down there,
acting troupe.
and I tried to shoot them, but there's nothing of interest down there.
Yeah. And now they're all gone. Do you understand? I mean, you saw them go into the mine shaft, and now they're all gone. Seal it up. Yeah. What the hell is going on there? I mean,
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a bill to settle with Mrs. Carmichael's boarding house.
Mrs. Carmichael, I'm afraid that the troop has left. But I have established work for you at the Peninsula Players.
And then, 430 years later, 400 years later, we will have our nuclear vessels, whales, Vulcan nerve pinch on a bus.
Yep, yeah, and they will have no problem doing that. They have no problem just kind of running roughshod all over the 80s and just, And then in the 90s, we have, the Voyager crew show up, and then I believe in the 2030s.
I've not seen this Voyager one.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. They go into basically present day. I can't remember what they're trying to do there. Oh, there's like Ed Begley Jr. is in it, I think.
Really?
It's really funny. Yeah, he's like this. He's this like basically the Steve Jobs type guy who found this alien ship, or it's a ship from the 29th century or something. It's kind of a weird. It's a weird plot, but he found it, and he's been reverse engineering technology ever since, and that's why he's become like this big, mogul. Like people have always thought, like, oh, maybe Steve Jobs actually was, at Area 51 or something like that, and him and Bill Gates, like, they reverse engineer because, like, how did computers come about so quickly, and blah blah blah. And so this kind of satisfies that, where he shows up and he's got these 29th century technology, and I don't know why they're trying to get it from, but they have a weird like chase with him in a spaceship. He's in a little shuttlecraft, and I think he blows up or I don't know. But it's not bad. Sarah Silverman's in it. She's fun. They have a cool sequence. She works at Griffith Park Observatory she's an astronomer at Griffith Park Observatory, which I don't think actually exists, but she's there. And on her desk, there's a Telosian like action figure from the cage. It's kind of hidden, but it's kind of funny. It's like you look like that's Telosian. So it's a weird like meta thing. If you see, it's like, oh wow, what's that all about? But I liked it. I thought it was good.
So what was that link you sent me earlier? If you want to do a quickie news and notes. I was trying to rush to finish this.
Oh, let me do this. Should I do this? I'll do this quip thing really quick.
Oh, your quick quip.
All right, hold on a second. You say something really quick.
Are you still brushing your teeth the old way?
I used to be, Kim. Hey, Kim, I used to brush my teeth the old way. The old way. That is the equation.
The old ways.
The old ways. All right, so the items highlighted in yellow are mandatory must read. So,
you read that part.
Yeah, so vanity URL is Star Trek. Yellow is also highlighted.
This is terrible.
Call to action / offer must read. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/Star Trek right now, you'll get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/Star Trek, spelled GETQUIP.com/Star Trek. It's a toothbrush. It's a toothbrush. It's a pretty good toothbrush. I gotta be honest with you. Basically, it's an electric toothbrush, and it like vibrates for 30 seconds, and then like it pauses for like 1 second, and then you do another quadrant of your mouth, and then another quadrant, and then another quadrant, another quadrant. So it's like 2 minutes of you, but like it tells you, like that gives you kind of the semblance of like, oh, this is how long I should be brushing each quarter of my mouth, and then you're done. So that's actually pretty good. And then I guess
that
like
URL again?
What that URL again is getquip.com/Star Trek.
Looking at it now.
Oh, good. And they were on Oprah's O list. I mean, it's not a bad idea. And then they send you a new toothbrush head every 3 months, I guess. So like, that way you get like a fresh toothbrush. So I don't know. I mean, like for $25 and you get like a free refill, I mean, it's not a bad deal. It makes one part of your life, I guess, a little easier. So
in this vast emptiness of space and time.
Actually, it makes it a little longer for me because I used to be like, brush, all done. But now I kind of sit there, I wake up and all right. So that was my
all right.
Quip. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that really quickly. So, yeah, we're burying the lead here, but the showrunners for Discovery have been fired.
Gosh,
again.
What the hell happened?
So Aaron Harberts and Gretchen Berg, who were sort of proteges of Brian Fuller and took over once he left. And I just read here that said that he was forced out, basically. This is kind of news. But they have been fired as well for being going over budget and being abusive to the writing staff.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Aaron Harberts, shouted expletives at someone.
Jeez.
Let me see if I can find the quote. I know it's so. This show is so beleaguered as far as from the. I mean, the cast is fine. The special effects are great. You have all the pieces in place. You have good music, whatever. But then just the stories, and you have good writing staff too. You have people who have done this before. But at the top, you're getting all these mixed messages, and I think that's the big problem. Let me see if I can find what he said to someone.
They're uncomfortable working. Multiple writers have been uncomfortable working on the series, threatened to file a complaint with HR, quit altogether.
Yeah. I don't see where he actually swore at them, but yeah, he leaned across the table and swore at them.
Isn't that kind of not that unusual? It's a high stress environment.
Well, it is. I mean,
not that it excuses abusive workplace behavior, but it must have been pretty bad or repeated. I don't know.
Well, I mean, from my own experience, I've worked on three shows now. I've been in three different writers' rooms, and I've never had it where like my showrunner is yelling at me, and telling you, fuck off. I mean, like sometimes you get your feelings hurt, sometimes your story ideas are shot down. But like it's never gotten so contentious that like a showrunner like leans across the table and shouts expletives at you. So, yeah, Harbert's said to have leaned across the writer's table while shouting an expletive at a member of the show's staff. So, I mean, yeah, is it the worst thing? No, but if these people feel uncomfortable enough, then yeah, that's the problem. If they're going to go to HR, especially if you're a writer on a show like this, if you're getting to that point, that's a thing.
Yeah, multiple people have been complaining too.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 10 episodes. This isn't, I mean, I don't understand. Like, if this is like a 22-episode season and you're under the gun, it's like, hey, you've got to make this for CBS All Access. You got to crank out 22 one-hour shows. Go. I mean, I can imagine there'd be many contentious times where you'd be like, I don't know what to do. But it's only 10, so you should be able to be in the writer's room and be okay. Be like, hey, let's take a break. Let's cool down, whatever. But to be like yelling and like doing whatever it is to the staff to the point where they're saying, hey, we don't like this anymore. We're going to talk to HR. That's a thing.
It says, after hearing rumors of HR complaints, Harberts is said to have threatened the staff to keep concerns with the production an internal matter.
Yeah, that's not
Who's
good.
Complaining?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Complain to HR. I'll fucking kill you.
Oh, God. Are they in the middle of shooting now, aren't they?
It sounds like they're in the middle of the season, like episode 5. It sounded like it said that they're taking a already pre-planned break, which sounds like,
yes,
like definitely a spin. Yeah, it's a pre-planned break. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But this show has been so beleaguered with I mean, like Brian Fuller's out, and then these guys come in, and then there's just turmoil in the storylines, and now they're out, and now Alex Kurtzman is in as the showrunner, and that makes me even more afeared because let me just read. Let's just see what
talk
Alex.
About Akiva Goldman also.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Akiva Goldman left as well. There's been so much turnover and turmoil. Let's see. So Alex Kurtzman is an executive producer on, let's see, he did The Mummy. He wrote, let me see, what did he write? He's written on Hawaii Five-0, The Mummy, Sleepy Hollow, Fringe, which I guess is a good show. But he's also done Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. He did The Island. He did Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, I don't know. I mean, he's done a lot. I mean, who the hell am I? I mean,
Your beloved podcast figure, Mike McCafferty.
I'm a beloved podcast figure, Mike McCafferty, head writer of Hot Streets.
But first, beloved podcast figure.
Yes, before that, I am beloved podcast figure. All right, so we've talked about all that. That's all fine. It's not fine. It's going to be.
There's nowhere to go but up from time zero.
Exactly. See, there's nowhere to go but up from time zero. I just repeated everything you said.
We talk about Code of Honor or Angel One. Okay.
Oh yes, this is true.
There may be one more sub basement. Other than that.
Well, we could also talk about. I thought maybe we'll do the last episode of the original series, Turnabout Intruder. I'm like, oh gosh, man, that one is such
a woman. Or he becomes a woman.
Yeah. Like he switches places with a woman, with Janice Lester.
Yes.
And that is so fraught with issues right now. That is such a Me Too in so many ways. That is such a hot button. I cannot even come close to it. I just was like, no.
Star Trek.
So.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, Turnabout Intruder. You want to talk about that one?
Oh no, you said you were going to do sort of a compilation overview type of thing.
Oh yeah. Well, the Lost Women of Star Trek. We'll do that one. But that'll be that. Like that's like if we do episode 100, I say I'm going to shut it down for like 2 months and like release like 5 good podcasts as opposed to like a bunch like this. This was great. This was a good episode.
We aren't in a parking lot, so that's a plus.
Oh, this is true. Yeah.
But there's no Melodia. Negative.
I will put it on the Melodia. I will say, my wife was... So I bought a Melodia. I wish I had it outside with me here in the Spider Cave. Was it a Melodia or Melodica? I can't remember what it is.
I thought it was Melodica, but you kept saying Melodia, and you brainwashed me into saying it.
No, it's a Melodica. So I bought a Melodica for $13, $14, and we played it outside of Mexicali. That's what you'll be hearing next. And my wife belittled it and said, you'll never use it. And so my son had some friends over tonight. Like, for some reason, he had like 4 girls who were friends. He's 14 years old. So already he's got better game than I ever had. He's a player, yeah. Well, he's also in musical theater too, so it's mostly girls and him. So, but anyway, so they come over to the house, and they look and say, "You have a melodica?" And I just looked over at my wife, and she's just like, "God damn it!" It's like suddenly just paid for itself, Then she picked it up and started playing, And so it was pretty outstanding. All right, so that's it for tonight.
The wind piano.
Is it really called the wind piano?
Or the blow organ.
The blow organ.
Little keyboard that you blow into in case people don't know what it looks like. Post a picture. Or I will, since I have control as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So before I die of consumption or tuberculosis or cholera.
Cholera.
Oh, hello, doctor and nurse. What are you doing? Oh, God. Don't forget to go to the Facebook page. We've got a great Facebook page, which has, I post stuff every once in a while, and Kim now has every right to post stuff, and she doesn't.
I correct your typos. It makes it look like I posted it. You posted something about video games a few weeks ago, and I fixed one little typo, and then it's like, Kim said, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no!
Oh, really? You became the author of it suddenly? Oh, great, yeah.
Kim Miller was posted on Star Trek.
Oh, I like that. I don't remember that.
Anyway, I will post a picture of a melodica.
You will post a picture of a melodica.
In fact, maybe a picture of Mike playing one.
Well, I do play a couple of the themes, so stick around after this, and you will hear musical magic, and also another ad for Quip, I think. So, or maybe I should just release that next week or something. That'll be our 100th episode. Oh my God, it's so terrible.
Oh no! Gotta start gathering your guests.
Yes. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have star-studded guests show up for the big 100th anniversary, 100th episode. There will be drinks, red wine, flowing for all. Kim will be driving up for this. I have ordained it.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you will do that.
Leave his pizza party.
He'll do what? Oh, yeah.
He will leave Chuck E. Cheese and join us.
He was in Pizza
Pull him
Paradise.
out of the ball pit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It wasn't Paradise. We saw what it was. It was like 5 pizzas. So that's not Pizza Paradise. I want pizza. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. I'm Mike McCafferty.
I'm Kim Miller.
And I can tell you with much authority and conviction that I just want to talk about
Star Trek. So annoying.